I've always said that the unintended consequence for doing this kind of work or just speaking out about it is hopefully just keeping people married and keeping that family unit intact, getting couples to a point where they realize that divorce may not be necessary at all if they just kind of get their heads out their asses and work together.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of the times disagreements purely on ego. That's the singular thing that
Yes.
is just egotistical decisions and
Yeah.
digging in. And we often have to play psychologist as opposed to attorney.
You got a book out. What is this book? You were telling me that you don't get psych training, but you did have a book.
Yeah, well, some of the things you find as you go along when you serve your articles or you complete your candidate attorneyship is you look for things that help you cope and help you translate all the theoretical learnings that you had at university into practice. And this is one of the most valuable books I've ever read. It's called Handy Hints on Legal Practice by Lewis and Cairo. I hope I said it right. LexisNexis has it available, and it's a wonderful read. It talks about a lot of things in the environment of being an attorney.
Yeah.
It deals with divorce as well.
Issues.
Yes, it deals with what do you see in front of you literally when you deal with a client.
Okay.
And by extension, divorce comes into the play.
Okay.
What are the symptoms you see? What happens? What are the possibilities? What you have to guard against?
But now, in the absence of getting this kind of training, right? Obviously, me as a divorcee, I need to know that in terms of soliciting the advice of an attorney. Because if you guys are not generally getting trained on psych issues, and you've learnt over the years, and we've become really good at it.
I think, generally in the world today, professional world, people's skills are average at best.
True.
And it's not profession specific, but it is tough in the modern era of law because people know more. The information is far more freely available on social media, etc.
Google.
So people tend to understand their rights and their entitlements a lot better today, so you've got to adapt in terms of how to make your client understand. So I don't think it should translate into that attorneys are unable to deal with people, but the general norm is that it's really average in terms of you've got to guard against emotional
and your own prejudices, I'm assuming, your own triggers, your own
You've got to learn that, and then the legal profession talks about the philosophical side of having to keep your own judgments intact and your own opinions intact and deal with what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And help find what the mix is for the client, not for yourself.
True. Tell me about your clients or your experience of your clients, men and women. Have there been any differences that you've noticed when it comes to divorce and how they manage it? Or
there are some differences, not major, but generally between the two genders, men and women, they go through the same symptoms of breakdown.
Same heartache, same denial,
absolutely.
Same anger.
Though there is this, I have an unsubstantiated belief that men tend to move along quicker and resettle than women. That's just what I've seen. That may not mean the right kind of stuff.
You're not the first one to have mentioned that men move on a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Can you hazard a guess?
Look, it's I can't really attribute it to anything or any gender war of any sort, but men tend to deal with it or get past it a lot quicker and move on and find a new partner and try and resettle, etc. It's just the way of the world, without me drawing in any fiery debates about men versus women. But it seems to appear that women linger longer in terms of getting over that divide, in terms of what has just happened.
Yeah. Well, look, in my case again, my ex-husband married fairly quickly. We settled in 2004. He remarried in 2004, even though the divorce started, in 2001. So 3 years later, he got divorced, or 4 years later, and I'm 8 years later, I'm still kind of figuring shit out.
Yeah, look, it's like I said, that's just an example, and you can relate to it.
Yeah.
But I like I said, what I've seen is that men tend to
move on faster.
Though you get some strong women in between that make the decision, get on their horses and carry on with life.
Yeah.
A large portion of the time, the women are sitting with the responsibilities, the ultimate responsibilities of the children's life if they have life
I hear you.
consequences. So that's why I think they might be slowed up a little in terms of getting back on.
Okay.
But yes, there is my experience that men move along faster.
Okay, I was told that, or at least one other attorney said to me that a lot of the time, men they remarry to replace the cook and the cleaner, and obviously in the bedroom, and so it kind of just as opposed to hiring the help, they just kind of just go and marry the help again.
Well, I don't really know much about that.
I'm being controversial.
But yeah, look, people have their own needs, etc. And there's instances where women feel they can't cope without the help of a man.
True.
And that is what that whole tongue-in-cheek damsel in distress syndrome talks about. That causes a lot of more strife with people. And you know, it's a personal choice as well. So everybody, each to his own.
We all navigate differently.
So we're not here to judge people.
No,
decisions. You know, a lot of good relationships and marriages have been formed on the rebound from something tragic.
Tell me about couples that have